We have never had so many high-end quarterbacks in the NFL at the same time. There are going to be over 20 quarterbacks in 2024 that are going to be fantasy viable. And I'm not talking about guys that are like, they're all right. No, we're going to have 20 plus quarterbacks that have enough fantasy juice to just go and give it to your opponents weekly. Sorry about that. Not my finest moment. That escalated quickly. Got a little bit aggressive, but here are my way too early top 12 quarterbacks for 2024. Number 1 is Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. He's been the quarterback 1 overall in fantasy football 3 of the last 4 seasons. The 1 year that he wasn't, he was the overall quarterback 2. Consistency is king, and he deserves to stay on top once again. Number 2 is Jalen Hurts, back-to-back seasons inside the top 3 at the position. Plus, he has 38 rushing touchdowns over his last 3 seasons. No one can stop the brotherly shove on the goal line, and I really don't expect this Philadelphia offense to be much different in 2024. Number 3 is Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. No team in NFL history has ever won 3 straight Super Bowls. Heck, they were even talking about a three-peat on the championship stage in this year's Super Bowl, so you know it's on their mind. I fully expect the Chiefs to go out this offseason and load up on offense trying to win that 3rd straight. Plus, look at Mahomes in 2023. He had a bad year and still finished as the overall quarterback 7. Number 4 is Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, the current reigning NFL MVP. And last season, we saw the return of running Lamar. He had more rush attempts last season than he's had in any season since 2020, but he still does not have enough high-end wide receiver options. Yes, I like Zay Flowers. I like Mark Andrews at the tight end position, but those 2 guys alone are not enough fantasy-wise for me to put him up inside the top 3. But all right, real quick, before we get into number 5, I gotta shout out today's sponsor. It's Mando. Mando is whole body deodorant. The thing is basically an all-terrain vehicle because literally it goes everywhere. Pits, package, feet, earlobes, elbow creases, it doesn't matter, anywhere you want to put it. Because body odor happens everywhere. So why do we only put it under our arms? Mando is clinically proven to control odor everywhere for up to 72 hours. You need to try out Mando's cologne quality scents and smell the difference from your underarms to your undernuts. But I want to give it to you at a discount. New customers are going to be getting $5 off a starter pack if you use the code word headliners at checkout at shopmando.com. There are links down below in the description. Personally, I love the unscented deodorant paired up with my favorite at-home cologne. It makes you fresh. So remember, head over to shopmando.com, get yourself $5 off a starter pack using the referral code headliners. All right, back to the rankings. Number 5 is Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals, and I know so many of y'all out there are going, why is he in the top 5? But I promise you it's warranted. Kyler came back in week 10 of 2023 after tearing his ACL in 2022. From weeks 10 through 17, he was the overall quarterback 10 in fantasy football. Plus we know the Arizona Cardinals, who sucked once again, are gonna get another early pick in this year's NFL draft. And with them expected to take either wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State or Malik Neighbors out of LSU, you have to think that helps the overall ceiling of Kyler Murray. We also have second-year wide receiver Michael Wilson and breakout tight end Trey McBride. With a ton of money to spend in free agency, Kyler Murray and his rushing upside could catch a lot of people off guard this season. Number 6 is CJ Stroud of the Houston Texans, coming off what a lot of people are calling the greatest rookie season ever for a quarterback. 4,100 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, all while still missing 2 games this season. Tank Dell, he was basically gone for almost 7 games. Nico Collin missed a couple games, and the Houston Texans have a ton of money to spend in free agency. A lot of rumors surrounding them adding a big-time playmaker on offense could definitely keep CJ Stroud up in the upper stratosphere of quarterbacks. Number 7, Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers, and this guy just finished as the overall quarterback 5 in fantasy football in 2023, and a lot of people still don't seem interested in him. He had 4,159 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, and almost another 250 yards rushing on the ground with 4 rushing touchdowns. And he did it all with a bunch of young wide receivers. Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Doubs, Tucker Kraft, and Luke Musgrave at tight end. He knows this offense, and now all these wide receivers have a little bit more experience. Could you only imagine if Christian Watson could stay healthy for a full 17 games? I got Jordan Love at number 7. Number 8, Brock Purdy, San Francisco 49ers. Since becoming the starter in San Francisco, he's averaging right around 18.5 fantasy points per game, and we just saw him finish as the overall quarterback 6 in 2023. Plus, we know that offense has tons of weapons. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. Hopefully they can work things out with Brandon Ayuk. He seems a little perturbed right now, but if they can keep him in this offense, it's still one of the best offenses in all of the NFL. Sure, Shanahan may struggle in the playoffs and the Super Bowl, but in season, he's nothing but a stat patter. Number 9, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals, coming off another injury heading into 2024. But the last time he came off a season in which he missed at least 6 games, he was the comeback player of the year. We know that T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are both free agents. However, rumors are already coming out that there's a good chance that T. Higgins is franchise tagged and kept in Cincinnati, which is great because we can't expect Cincinnati with a quarterback like Joe Burrow to enter the season with nothing but Jamar Chase. We all know that a healthy Joe Burrow is a top 10 quarterback in fantasy football. However, until we know exactly what moves they're going to make this offseason, he's a little bit closer to top 10 than top 5. Number 10 is Anthony Richardson, Indianapolis Colts. A lot of people have forgotten about Anthony Richardson, but this guy had 7 touchdowns in only 173 snaps in 2023. That equates to 1 touchdown every 24 snaps. On average, quarterbacks play around 1,000 snaps per season. That would be a total of 42 total touchdowns if Anthony Richardson could get near that 1,000 snap mark. A team with a lot of money to spend in free agency. They gotta bring back Michael Pittman. He could be franchise tagged as well. With the rushing upside that Anthony Richardson possesses, especially around the goal line, a big fantasy season could be incoming, and I got him at number 10. Number 11 is Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. He just had one of the hottest runs as a quarterback in fantasy football in quite some time last season between week 6 and 13. During that span, he averaged almost 28.3 fantasy points per game. He also outscored every other quarterback during that span by almost 20 points. Each of the last 2 seasons that he's played a full season, he's thrown at least 36 touchdowns. Their run game right now sucks in Dallas. They're gonna have to continue to throw the ball. Now, I am expecting some slight regression from 2023, where he finished as the overall quarterback 4. However, Dak Prescott still verged top 12, sitting at number 11. Number 12 is Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers, and I am very torn on what to do with Justin Herbert in 2024 now that we have a new coaching staff in LA with Jim Harbaugh. Now, history shows that Harbaugh isn't going to have some prolific NFL passing game. During his time in San Francisco, he had a bottom 4 passing offense each season. At Michigan, average at best. But when he was in San Francisco, he didn't have guys like Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnston, Josh Palmer, maybe even Austin Eckler. The talent there is too good to not have Justin Herbert inside the top 12. But with my concerns, I got him at number 12. But like I said at the beginning, right, there are over 20 quarterbacks who have top 12 potential. They're going to be fantasy viable. And I'm sure as you were watching through my rankings, you didn't see a few names that maybe you expected to see. Now, that doesn't mean that I dislike those guys. I just haven't figured out how to put 20 names into a list of 12 yet. But here are some of those guys that I do believe still have top 12 potential. Trevor Lawrence, he was last year's quarterback 13 overall on the season in what many considered a down year. Justin Fields, Where's he playing football in 2024? A lot of rumors heating up with him going to Pittsburgh. Does that happen? I've also heard Atlanta. He could also stay in Chicago. How about Aaron Rodgers? Everyone hates Aaron Rodgers, but if you don't think he can go out and average 16 fantasy points per game and be a Verge top 12 quarterback, you're just a hater at this point. Deshaun Watson, he averaged 18 fantasy points per game in the 5 full games he played in 2023. It just looks like his give a damn is broken at times. How about Tua Tagovailoa, top 10 in 2023, and Jalen Waddle had a down season. Jared Goff, he was last year's quarterback 7 overall on an offense that's just getting better year after year. Matthew Stafford, he started to come on hot end of the season, and you know he's going to have Puka, Kupp, and Kyren once again in 2024. Kirk Cousins coming back off of a torn Achilles. Does he go back to Minnesota? Because if he does, he was the quarterback 6 overall when he was healthy in Minnesota just last season. But we haven't even talked about rookies yet. There are a few incoming rookie quarterbacks that could be immediate difference makers. Guys like Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix. If a few of these guys fall into the right situation, they could also catapult themselves up inside that top 15, even top 12 as well. Now, from a fantasy perspective, you have to look at this and say, you know what? With so many options, I'm probably going to wait on quarterback this year during my fantasy football draft. So many people have fallen in love with drafting quarterbacks early, like in rounds 3 or 4, that you're able to find some high-end talent, especially in 2024, a little bit later. But I want to know your quarterback rankings. I'm sure yours do not match mine, and that is okay. If everyone's rankings matched, how boring would they be? So leave those comments down below. Let me know where you have all these studs ranked heading into 2024. Then as you're getting out of here for the day, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you need to do so because we got you covered all year long. Plus, hit the like button as well. They definitely help us out here in the off season. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. And then most importantly, do your part to make the world a better place.